City, two clubs who know all about cup success. Chelsea, the FA Cup holders, Manchester City winners 2 years ago and holders now of the Football League Cup and the European Cup Winners' Cup. City are a side always good to watch, but today their team is without the injured Francis Lee, and we are tempted to suggest a defensive formation when that tough defender George Heslop here is wearing the number 7 shirt and Derek Jeffries in number 11 shirt. So for the Chelsea attackers there might be more problems than usual. Peter Osgood at 9 will be hoping to make every moment count before he begins an 8-week suspension. And now Ian Hutchinson, the man City fear most, returns after breaking a bone in an arm. It's also a big day for the Chelsea goalkeeper Peter Bonetti, now making his 500th appearance for the club in first-team games. The first one was away back in 1960 against Manchester City, incidentally, and Chelsea won that one by 3-0. 10 years of unrivalled service from Peter Bonetti. Now, in spite of the rain, the crowd is just over 50,000, the second highest of the day. Referee Ken Burns of Stourbridge.
So Chelsea get us away, defending the goal to our left in their yellow shirts. Manchester City this afternoon in red and black stripes. Boyle and Heslop, the man who's been brought into this Manchester City side, which tends at the moment to give it a heavy emphasis on defence. But there's Bell now through to Summerby. Chased by Harris, and Summerby very fast indeed, and a goal kick given. The pitch has taken a pounding from the rain, but George Anstis, the groundsman, and his staff have really done a tremendous job on it. And Peter Bonetti then to take the goal kick for Chelsea. Well, Heslop giving Osgood the treatment in the back there, and a free kick to Chelsea. The first FA Cup tie between these two clubs at Stamford Bridge. They've met twice before at Main Road, away back in 1914-15 when Chelsea won, and then in 1948 when Manchester City won. Chelsea have missed Keith Weller these last 10 days or so when their form has wavered. They've missed his pace down the wing. But now Doyle. Beautiful long rangy stride of his. And Bell. Doyle again. Now Jeffries. Harris away for Chelsea. To Osgood. Well, he slipped more by luck than anything else. And he's onside. Hutchinson is all right. Down he goes. Nothing given. Osgood furious there. Prepared to go and have a word with the referee. And Osgood feeling obviously that he's in enough trouble already. Stopped after just a few yards, but a good-looking move there by Chelsea with Hutchinson stopped on the very brink of putting him ahead. And Jeffries again, looking for Bowyer, and Webb tidying up nicely there for Chelsea at the back. And now taking this pass from Peter Bonetti. Hollins to Weller. And that's Chelsea's ball. Osgood trying a drag back there to beat Booth, and then found that he didn't need it, so it's Hollins now for Weller. Oakes all very tight in there. Booth against the body of Weller, and City's throw. Keith Weller showing the sweat of earnest endeavour on his forehead there. Oh yeah, trying to shake off Boyle. Pressured enough to put a bad pass in there. Webb now to Weller. Webb again, this time for Osgood. Nice control and a good pass there for Houseman. And Hollins is right up with him as well. Houseman going on. Oh, and he panicked a little bit right at the end there. He did so much good and so much difficult work. And it all went to his head at the very end. Started by Osgood with a really superb piece of control in the middle of the field. Good running by Houseman to get into that position, though. Well, it's a better sign for Chelsea. And here's Harris. Always a rather daunting sign when he comes forward, and it's Houseman. Hutchinson trying to fasten quickly onto that one, and Heslop deciding that the best thing to do was to put it behind for the corner. Big, tough, 30-year-old experienced defender, George Heslop, and he took no chances. And this is the situation from behind Corrigan's goal. Webb right up on that line. The crowd now getting behind Chelsea. Here comes the corner. Webb right there, and Corrigan faultless once more in his catching. First half in which both sides really have countered each other in almost every respect. Chances have been few and far between. And City, I suppose, as the away side, a lot more satisfied with what's gone on in the first half than Chelsea. But then Manchester City, I think, have looked very cool and very much in command when it comes into the middle of the field. There's so many skillful players there for them. Men like Doyle, hard into this tackle with Harris. In fact, there is the whistle for the end of the first half, where, as I say, chances have been few and far between. Certainly Peter Houseman weighed one for himself, which almost counted, just going in there. And Arthur Mann has done some really tremendous defensive work for Manchester City. So still to come on the big match this afternoon, highlights from two other cup ties. But the half-time score here at Stamford Bridge is Chelsea 0, Manchester City 0, and we shall be back with you in just a couple of minutes. So Neil Young is on for Mike Summerby.
Jerry?
He's right on the ball, right just to the left of the ball there. And as we go into the start of the second half, Manchester City have brought on their substitute, Neil Young, on for Mike Summerby. Here's Young. Young, of course, who scored the goal that won Manchester City the FA Cup 2 seasons ago against Leicester City. Webb. Hutchinson trying to lay it off for Osgood. Osgood making ground on it, trying to harass Doyle into an error. Boyle on his body. And Heslop. Well, that really is safety first to the last degree, but certainly City have been unyielding in defence so far this afternoon. Bowyer. Now Bell. Harris. Down he goes, taken there by Book, so it's going to be a free kick to Chelsea. The clash of the two skippers. Well, it wasn't a free kick. In fact, the ball was no... Harris was prepared to take it as a throw rather, but referee Ken Burns saying no, a free kick. And so Marvin Hinton to take it. Throw then to Manchester City. Tony Book taking it from way behind where he might have taken it, or should have taken it. Osgood. A flick inside there, and Hollins letting it run and not knowing that Oakes was there, but now Houseman getting that one across towards the near post, and at the very last it almost caught Corrigan out. He does dip in those little crosses, Houseman, towards the near post, very deceptively indeed, and certainly Corrigan, blowing his cheeks there, was very nearly deceived. So Chelsea's corner, David Webb going up. Hutchinson is on the goal line itself. There he is. You've got to be a big man, of course, to block Corrigan's view. But here's Cook with the corner. A deep one. And Corrigan not getting a hand to it, but impeded as he tried. And so a free kick to Manchester City. A line of Chelsea defenders there looking for it. And it's Boyle. Hutchinson laying it off for Hollins. A flick there and another flick from Weller as Hollins goes on, but Mann getting it away. Hutchinson once more to Boyle. Tommy Booth. And Boyle again. Cook, not quite sure what he wanted to do with that, but Cook trying to barge his way into a second opportunity. But now Doyle for Manchester City. Not a good pass. And Chelsea's throw. And Chelsea's throw again. Once more Harris. Hutchinson. And Houseman. This is Cook. Back to Houseman again with time to put another one in. No, he's lost the time. He really lost his chance there, Peter Houseman, but here's Cook. Maybe he'll get it across. No, he'll put it to Hollins instead. Now Hollins can drive them. Hollins getting a bit of applause there from Peter Bonetti, and Hollins, in fact, who's scored 6 times this season. A really mighty shot on him. And David Webb having plenty to say for himself as well. Hollins alert, looking all the while. Bowyer to Oakes. Oh, Hollins winning that one well. Got Weller making a run on the right for him. But not giving themselves too much of a chance for that one coming off, I would have thought, Chelsea, those two on the right. And so it's Doyle back to Corrigan. Now Oakes. Bell. And Cook for Chelsea. Fighting hard, Charlie Cook, both in attack and in defence, and a little bit in midfield as well. Now Houseman. And Hutchinson. Heslop, stopped by Hutchinson. Weller, trying to play it first time for Osgood. Now Chelsea coming forward, but there are plenty of City defenders back as well. Osgood taking one of them out of the game anyhow. Trying to make his way through. Oh, good work by Osgood. And a fine save at the end of it by Corrigan. Now Bell. Bell sent sprawling there by Harris, and claiming that to the referee that it was after the ball had gone. But referee Ken Burns saying go on, and so that's what Webb is doing. Finding Houseman. Stamford Bridge finding its voice again after that burst from Osgood. Hutchinson to Houseman. Osgood there in the centre, looking for it with his head. And Chelsea in the last 90 seconds or so looking as good as they've looked in the whole of the afternoon. Now with this very damp crowd getting hard behind them. Bell. Just a little disjointed at the moment, Manchester City. Here's Harris. Osgood. Turned inside for Hollins, coming up fast, and Hollins will not be shaken off that ball. Hollins with his shot, straight into the arms of Corrigan. Hinton winning that one well in the air from Bell. Hutchinson fighting hard, but the ball cannoning off man for Oakes. Well, a misunderstanding there between Neil Young and Jeffries, and so it's Cook to Houseman. Shadowed by Doyle, he's going to take some shaking off. Houseman's throw. Osgood. Heslop snapping away at him all the time. All good play by Osgood to find Harris. Back to Osgood again. And now for Houseman with time to cross one. Hutchinson at the far side. Well, he had it in two minds there, whether to nod for goal, whether to nod back to a teammate. And it might be easy to make the decisions up here, but it looked as though it may have been the wrong one that he took. Now a free kick rather to Manchester City. Arthur Mann to take it, and Manchester City under pressure in the last 5 minutes as they've not been for the whole of the afternoon. Mann then with the kick. The rain coming down hard still. Oh, and here's Bell with a chance. Colin Bell, and he scored. Colin Bell. A chance out of nothing after City have been under such tremendous pressure. Colin Bell, who sneaked in there so fast and kept his head and finally planted it wide of Bonetti. And it was Colin Bell who scored in a 1-1 draw here earlier this season in the league. Well, Chelsea's cup history, of course, has been dotted with tremendous recoveries, and now it looks as though they'll need to have another one on their hands. There's Hutchinson going in hard. Well, it's a corner to Chelsea. Well, Malcolm Allison there on the right of your picture with Albert Alexander, the chairman of Manchester City, on his right, on the left of our picture, must be well pleased. Here's the corner. Curling under that crossbar, but the shade from Chelsea's point of view, the wrong side of it. Bell, this masterful all-rounder. What an example of how to keep your head when the chance comes. And Bell off again. But this time stopped by Webb. But there's Young, the elegant player, lurking on the far side. Hinton to Bell! Oh, Bell has done it again! As Hinton left it, Bell was in there. Marvin Hinton let that ball go across the goal. And in a space of a minute, Manchester City, there's Marvin Hinton shaking his head, a sad and sorry figure. And as he waited, Bell pounced. And Manchester City, in the space of a minute, have put themselves almost, I would think, beyond the reach of Chelsea. Well, what a miserable 500th appearance for Peter Bonetti. His first appearance away back in 1960 was against Manchester City, and that day they won 3-0. And now here are Chelsea down 2-0. Now Osgood. So 2 goals by Colin Bell. And now Peter Osgood and Ian Hutchinson between them. Those twin strikers for Chelsea have really got to pull everything out. Certainly the whole of this Chelsea side now have got to find some form if they're not going to relinquish their hold on the FA Cup. And a corner to Chelsea. Hutchinson coming back into the centre, Booth with him. And Webb going up again. Webb's going into that goal area. Hutchinson and Osgood at this near side, the far side from the corner. Houseman, and a goal kick. Well, it really is a most miserable afternoon here for everybody, the spectators and for Chelsea. Bell getting up superbly again, Colin Bell. And a throw to Chelsea. Well, Harris has really got to do a skipper's job now on this side, on this situation, 2 down. Well, the crowd, all credit to them, haven't given up hope. They're as behind this side as ever they've been. But Chelsea really not on the same wavelength as each other at the moment. Putting that one in. You'll never walk alone, say the crowd. Now Weller. Hutchinson going in. Osgood going in, and my goodness, did he not go in there? Diving full length, but finding that Heslop was diving with him. So a spectacular piece of attack by Chelsea, but a really spectacular and solid piece of defence by George Heslop. There he is, number 7, with Osgood. But Chelsea's corner. John Boyle with it. And punched away as far as Cook. Now Weller. Hollins with the throw. Cook. Oh, a beautiful drag back by Cook. And a corner to Chelsea. They really are piling it on. You're going to excuse them for being shaken completely out of their stride, and the crowd too, but the crowd are with them as well. But Chelsea are coming back hard. Here's Boyle again with the corner. Osgood again making a tremendous effort to get there with his head. But Corrigan there with his fist before him. Now Boyle. Shadowed by Oakes. But he gets that across once more, and this time it's Tommy Booth putting it behind for another corner. Oh, we really got a second half here after a mildly disappointing first half. So yet another corner for Boyle to take left-footed and swing in under that crossbar. Oh, and Webb! And my goodness, he almost got that one through. Goal kick. Webb well up there, and I would have expected, and so would he, I would think, to make use of his head, but in fact very nearly turning that low one in. From this angle it looked almost as though it cannoned off Corrigan's legs. Hollins urging men on around him. Chelsea certainly have taken up the running now, but there's still these 2 goals adrift. Hutchinson. And now Oakes. As Chelsea comes striding forward, there's a few gaps at the back there, and here's Oakes with a long run, and Young now. Oh, and Webb going in with no nonsense whatsoever on Neil Young, and the referee calling him to him. Look of determination all over David Webb's face, and perhaps a little too determined in that challenge. And certainly Ken Burns was very quickly on the spot, giving a sharp word where it was required, and the free kick to Manchester City. Neil Young with it. Webb to get it away. Oakes now to drive it. Oh, and a good save by Bonetti. Good fierce shot there by Oakes, and beautifully timed by Bonetti with the rain in his face, finding just the moment to make contact with the ball, to flick it over that bar. So it's City's corner. Neil Young. Under that crossbar again, Bonetti getting his fist to it, Hollins failing to get his head to it, and Weller finally getting a boot to it. Ball boy then giving it to Alan Oakes. hacking away there at Bowyer, and the referee in fact telling David Webb, I saw the way that you were kicking rather furiously at the ball, and it seemed almost at the player as well, but he's taken no action. But he certainly let David Webb know that he was watching him. Here's Young. Jeffries, overhead again. Webb getting it away, not very far. Houseman going in the nick of time as Doyle and Oakes came in fast. Now Hinton. Wide for Weller. Oh, and Weller's gone past man now. He's got Hutchinson up with him and Osgood as well. That's aimed towards Hutchinson and Osgood, but in fact finding only Tony Book. Noticeable too how quick the Chelsea burst was, but how much quicker the Manchester City recovery was. There were about 5 men back in that penalty area in no time at all. Oakes nodded on nicely there for Young. Playing some nice stuff now, Manchester City. Jeffries. Book. Doyle. Book again. A little chip there, and Young to flick it on. Hinton to get in there first. Now it's Houseman to Hollins. Houseman away again. And Hutchinson's made that burst towards the near post that he makes so often. But it was really an impossible situation for Hutchinson. It wasn't to his head which he wanted. Hinton nodding that one away for Hollins. Hutchinson laying it off for Cook. Now Cook, will he take on Heslop? Leaving it for Houseman. Osgood lurking again. Linesman flagging on the far side for offside against Osgood. But the referee say play on. Houseman again, another little chip. And Corrigan looking so massive in that goal. I'm sure he does to the Chelsea forwards as well. Ron Harris to Marvin Hinton. And Heslop once more there, and Doyle claiming that the ball came off Houseman as it went between his legs, and the referee agrees. This fellow's looked a giant in the middle of the field this afternoon for Manchester City as well, Mike Doyle. Bowyer finding Young. And now Oakes. Doyle. And now Neil Young. And man to Oakes. Doyle. This must be about 9-10 passes at least that City have made without Chelsea touching it, and it's Jeffries trying to get himself into shooting position, finding Doyle. This must be up to 13 passes now as Bell, still Bell, and getting a shot in, and my goodness, there's Jeffries cannoning about there, Jeffries again, and Bowyer, and it's given. And it's Bowyer who's made it 3-0. With a quarter of an hour to go. And that really was frenzy at its fiercest in that goal area, as Bell put in the first shot that counted, and then there was all sorts of scrimmaging around there until it finally ran loose for Ian Bowyer to put Manchester City 3-0 into the lead. Now Hollins. Hutchinson looking for Osgood, flicking on now for Houseman to turn it across again. Oh, and Hutchinson couldn't have been more than 6 inches away from pulling one back straight away for Chelsea. Well, the Chelsea fans going home there, some of them, with a quarter of an hour still to go. Well, nobody happier here this afternoon than the fellas in the front row there, Malcolm Allison, Joe Mercer and Albert Alexander, the Manchester City chairman. Boyle and Chelsea's throw. all this without Francis Lee, would you believe it? There he is, Francis Lee, still obviously playing a very active part in that dugout. Hollins then to take the throw for Chelsea, and Peter Osgood has gone off up the tunnel. Now going up the tunnel now, there he goes, which can only mean that John Dempsey is on. A substitute now on for Chelsea, which won't do anything for Chelsea's striking power for sure, with a defender now on. It's John Dempsey. Hutchinson's gone roaring forward again, but it's Houseman down the left. Played first time towards Hutchinson, and now with Webb right up there. Can Webb force it home? No, he can't, but he wasn't so far away from doing it. Hollins. Back shaken off the ball, Hollins. Quite a tough battle there with Alan Oates, but it seemed to me shoulder to shoulder, but the referee obviously thought otherwise, and he's given the free kick to Chelsea. Hutchinson wanting it quite clearly high in the air, and maybe Boyle will give it to him. Dempsey right up there as well, and in fact just pushed past that post once more by Ian Hutchinson. Still these odd chances coming Chelsea's way, and I suppose even a goal would give it an air of respectability. And there goes the final whistle. Chelsea, the holders, are out of the cup. And for my money, if they can keep this form up through the succeeding rounds, it's going to take a very good side to beat Manchester City as we go through towards Wembley this season. Colin Bell, scorer of 2 of those Manchester City goals in the second half. And Ian Bowyer, of course, who got the other one, but it was Bell who put that first shot in, and Bowyer, the number 10, who finally finished it off to make it 3-0 then to Manchester City. So the final score at Stamford Bridge, and a shock for all Chelsea fans, of course, is Chelsea 0, Manchester City 3.